Omolola, I did mention earlier that I can see that you're standing around the Bolade market in the Bolade area and the Arena market. What exactly is the update on the fire outbreak?
Hello, Blessings. Yes, it's just sad, and unfortunate that we're having another fire incident just a few days after the fire that happened, in Lagos Island, one of the markets. And then just yesterday at about 5 p.m., according to eyewitnesses that we spoke to, another fire happened here at the Arena market, just at the Nigerian Army shopping complex in one of the sections of the market. And then, while we got there this morning just to find out what exactly happened, we were able to, get into the incident, the exact place where the fire happened. But unfortunately, we couldn't do much because they didn't allow us, they said we didn't have permission to go ahead. And then we spoke to some people. That's, of course, instead to get approval, we had to go to, the general manager of the market, to sort of get permission. But unfortunately, he said we can't do much either. That for us to do anything, we would probably have to contact the army. That this is a very sensitive area. Although yeah, it's a market, but it's a very sensitive area because it's controlled by the military. So we couldn't get access. But we were able to, of course, get some shots, some of the B-rolls, and get some, some shot of the fire incident. But as to what happened exactly, what caused the fire, we're not able to, get information, concrete information about what caused the fire. And then, just from what we gathered and what we saw, it's, obvious that that market is a major market for what we call okurika, or, benefit, because there were some clothes. And if you look closely, you see some clothes items that were, clothes items that were burnt to ashes. So definitely, those were the things that were burnt. I think that's a major section of the market. They sell those kind of clothes. So he got burnt down to ashes. And then when we spoke to one of the eyewitnesses, that was the only person that we were able to speak with. We spoke to one of the persons, and he said that, the market happened at about 5 p.m. and then they were able to get the fire, that's the fire service stationed in the complex itself. But unfortunately, that couldn't, because the fire, escalated, and that fire, the fire service, that they couldn't do much. So they had to contact the Lagos State Fire Services, who came afterwards to help, to help deal with the situation. Even as at this morning, while we were there, we saw another we saw another fire service, Lagos State, of course, fire rescue service came into the, into the premises to help, to help quench the fire a bit.
Omolola Ololade there with the update on the fire that broke out at Bolade in Arena Market.